Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be on the call with Rhianne. Rhianne and I have been working together, which I feel so blessed to have this human as someone that I get to talk to and get experience from and wisdom from often. Rhianne and Valentina Leo are bringing a new, well, actually, it's an established course, but it's starting a new cycle called The Sexual Awakening for Women. Rhianne, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, hey Simona. It's so good to be here to talk about the Sexual Awakening for Women 1-year online course that's starting on the 15th of May. I am delighted to be co-facilitating with Valentina. Together, we have been doing this work as individuals for over 20 years, and both of us worked and studied and went on retreat with Shakti. The course is based on Shakti's book, which was published in 2012. And really, it's a deep exploration into the profound mysteries of our female sexuality. And over the course of a year, 9 modules, juicy, rich content, we're going to be exploring a number of topics. But one that I really wanted to chat into today was stepping into our power and our pleasure purpose as women, as female-bodied beings on the planet right now. Because something that's really clear to me is that it's us, it's we, female-bodied beings, we're the ones who have the power, the women on the planet. We have the power to change the world. We have the power to birth a new world. And yet, paradoxically, through these thousands of years of patriarchy, we've come to believe that it's the men who have the power and that we're somehow victims of the system. And the only way we can have power is through alliance with a male, an alpha male, a male with power. And or through using our sexuality in some kind of manipulative and seductive way. So like a power under strategy. And doing one of the profound things that has happened in my life doing this work has been a coming to deeply know that I am the one who has the power to create the world that I really, really want to live in. And through the years of working with hundreds of women, thousands of women, actually, what I see is that collectively, we are the ones who have the power. And when we do the work of getting really, really clear on what it is that we really, really want, what's important, what's real, what kind of a world do we want to live in? Do we want to raise our children in? What values are important? Then we really drop into a place of power, of clarity. And when we're clear on what our desire is, then that instruction, we can give that instruction to our inner masculine, or we can give that instruction from a place of open-hearted, loving, that has no manipulative strategy or agenda to the males in our world. And that's how together we create communities and a world that we all really, really want to live in. Yeah.
Beautiful. Um, there was a post on the Red Tent group where a lady was having a conversation with AI, and it was on this topic of women coming into their power. And she painted such a beautiful picture that it's this, it's the fire, and us as women in our power are this fire. And it's the stones around the fire that contain the fire, that hold the fire, that create this safety as the masculine. And that's how we should be working and weaving in the world. Um, and so for us to, like, it sounds like this course is igniting women into this fire, allowing this fire in a healthy way, that it's not burning things, but warming the hearts of the world, of the masculine, of the feminine.
Yeah, absolutely. I watched that Instagram reel as well. And I think the invitation on the course is really working with our masculine and our feminine, because it's only when our masculine and has the presence that our feminine essence can birth herself. So I always say safety is an inside job. We're creating our own safety. And there's a piece that I recognize in this work is so many women come to do this work. They've got a lot of mastery in the masculine out there in the world. Like many of us female-bodied beings have gone out there and established careers, businesses. We're financially independent. And we're reaching a place where we're also realizing that there's something missing. And there's this deep, deep longing for a deeper connection with ourselves, with the ground of our own being, with the sensation in our bodies. And so it's a muscle that we cultivate throughout the course, both cultivating our masculine essence, our masculine presence, and our feminine essence. Yeah, and then when these come together and start to dance and have conversation, that's when the aliveness comes and the incredible intelligence of the two, because it's not one or the other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to, I bought the book many, many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the other day that I picked it up and I flicked through it, and it landed on a beautiful invitation for an exercise that I did with my partner. And it really opened a beautiful and deep conversation for ourselves. But I'd like for you to tell us a little bit more about Shakti Milan for those who don't know who she is, because the three women running this course are powerhouses. And for those that don't know these powerhouses, I think a little bit of juicy information about that would be great.
Yeah, sure. So Shakti was a beautiful woman who lived primarily in Cape Town. She's from South Africa, the Afrikaans culture background. And she had an incredible awakening of her own. And through that, came to realize that her work was with sexuality, and that she was being asked to really pivot from everything she'd known about her nice little Afrikaans culture, and pivot into the deep end of sexuality, looking at fantasy, desire, sexual shadow. And yeah, she created, in fact, she was the first person to create community, a tantric community in Cape Town. She created beautiful community, weaving bliss dance and the sexual awakening for women and the sexual shadow exploration. And I mean, I've just been really blessed to meet her at a time in my life that was really pivotal. And we, became friends. I was her student, I was her organizer. Um, And of course, her life in her body on this planet was shorter than we all expected, than she expected. She really, really, really wanted to live, to play, to share, to teach. She was passionate about relatedness and connection and intimacy and pleasure and creating a world that we all want to live in. Um, she was a truly delightful being, and I can still hear her laugh. And I think she also was a little bit of an anachronism. She was ahead of her time, and her book, Sexual Awakening for Women, truly, I feel like it's only now that the planet is ready, that women all around the world are awakening to our power and our potential and ready to step into that, because it's a really interesting question as to why so few female-bodied beings are ready to step into the power that we are as females.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that a South African has contributed immensely to this field.
Hmm.
She really is internationally well known and respected, and that her work continues to inspire and change lives.
Yeah, she was inspiring. And I feel her presence a lot. And as you said, she's the third facilitator on the course. So that's lovely. And we really just welcome any woman who feels ready to dive in and take this incredible journey, to please join us. We're going to be co-creating a sisterhood all over the world, gathering of women, and we're going to be really doing the experiential practices together. We're going to be bringing our messy, living, loving lives, the challenges that we're confronted with, our relationships, our longings, our sweet, sweet longings, to create a really beautiful experience throughout the year.
So what I'm hearing, it really is a deep dive. You know, this isn't a fluffy course. This is a serious initiation into oneself. And it really
It's
is
a real undoing and an unraveling of the way we've been wired and the way our sexuality's been wired and the beliefs we hold about what it means to be a woman, to be female, and looking at our patterns, that we've inherited patterns from our families, from our cultures, and really unraveling that conditioning and stepping into the fullness of who we are. And the creating space for the incredible pleasure that is right here in our beautiful breathing bodies of love, to really, like a rippling blue flame, just birth herself through our bodies.
beautiful imagery.
Yeah.
So this course is for women, from anyone that feels called as a newbie to facilitators or practitioners that want to deepen their understanding of themselves, but also maybe this work to bring it more into their practices. So it really is comprehensive enough for an academic and for someone that is new and hungry.
Yeah, the content is so rich. I mean, Shakti Shiva Academy really is operating, all of our courses are at that intersection of sexuality, psychology, and mysticism. So the content itself and the practices are so rich. We find that many women who come to this work already have a lot of mastery. They might already be have offerings of their own. Often psychologists realize that they don't really have the sexuality piece or the embodiment piece. They're very cerebral and very thinking. A lot of body workers, a lot of people working in sexuality who want a greater embodied understanding of how our sexuality is a gateway to greater realization. So yeah, it really is an invitation. And it's also for people who are new to this work. I just suggest that any woman who's interested takes a really good look at the sales page and just feels the calling for themselves. Like, what is their deepest longing, and is the move towards a deep dive like this, and to follow that knowing for themselves, whatever that is.
It feels like a really beautiful space that invitation feels like a great place to pause and let women really check out that sales page, read it, and go, where do I stand? Am I leaning in?
Absolutely. What serves me right now so that I can serve my community, my family, and the whole. That's a beautiful place to complete. Thank you, Simona.
Oh, thank you, Rhianne. Thank you for bringing this work to life, to this world.
Yeah.